again this summer, gentlemen. This will be his 5th team in his NBA career. He's got a short list of preferred destinations. So this, according to our Shams Charania, KD's preferred teams are the Heat, the Spurs, and Rockets, with teams around the league being told that those are the 3 teams Durant will commit on a long-term extension. However, the Suns have made it clear to interested teams that they will make the best deal for the franchise, even if it means trading Durant outside of his preferred list. What a time. Wendy, whichever team he lands on, do you believe Kevin Durant should be the #1 option on his next team?
He can be a #1 option. He just had arguably one of the best shooting seasons of his career at age 36, 37 in his 16th season or whatever it was. But I don't think that the team should plan for him to be. Number one, if you're trading for Kevin Durant, you want to have a team built out that can try to win the whole thing. You're not trading for him on some 3-year plan, even if he's going to get an extension. The second thing is just this. And he's been relatively healthy for the last 2 years, but he has missed 20 or more games in 6 or 7 of the last 8 seasons. So, he's, 2 years ago he played 75 games. Last year he played 62. That's really good. But, still missed 20 games last year. So, that's one of the things. If you're going to have a player in his late 30s on your roster, you've got to make sure your roster is equipped for that player to miss some time.
Let me say this about Kevin Durant, and I'll say this to you as well, Jay. The Kevin Durant that we have witnessed throughout his professional career deserves to be a #2 option behind no one. No one. You can't know the game of basketball and look at Kevin Durant and say somebody else deserves to be a #1 option ahead of that brother. You just can't do it. He's 7 feet tall with a 7'6" wingspan who can score from anywhere. 3s, 2s, mid-range, free throws, fast break, open. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now, I'm not saying that if you have Wembanyama, you forget about him. If you have a LeBron or a Steph, you forget about him. I will remind you, when Kevin Durant was on Golden State, being coached by Steve Kerr, playing alongside the Splash Brothers, he still wasn't the #2 option. He still wasn't the #2 option. I mean, you could look at plays being called for Steph. You could look at Steph moving without the basketball and having everybody's head on a swivel because the greatest shooter God has ever created scared the living hell out of you. But it wasn't like that made Kevin Durant a #2. Kevin Durant just has that ability where he can suppress his offensive assertiveness when he wants to because he's efficient enough to go out there with less shots and still give you 27 a night in his sleep. This is who the hell KD is. So when we ask this question, let's understand that the last time we saw this brother, he was averaging 27. Years before that, he was averaging 20. He has an Achilles and comes back, he's averaging 27. He hurts his foot and misses games, he's averaging 27. Kevin Durant, Molly, averaged 20 points a game as a rookie. That is his lowest level of production in his career. This is who he is. So to ask this question, #1 option, the reality is that you can never justify him being a #2 unless he says, just give that brother the ball. I'll work around him. If Kevin Durant says that, that's fine. But you as a basketball mind, you can't look at a Kevin Durant and say, there's somebody that deserves to be the #1 option ahead of him. Not with that level of greatness on the offensive side of the ball. You just can't do it.
I think I can do it. Because I don't think KD looks at the game the way that media talks about the game. I don't think KD goes into a situation saying, I'm just giving you insight. I think KD goes into the situation thinking that, all right, the world may talk about who's #1 or who's #2, but I'm Kevin Durant. I can feel out for what the situation calls for. So if there's a situation where Anthony Edwards wants to carry a lot of the load and be the #1 guy, by all means do it. Be him. I want you to be him. The more you're him, the more I can be me. But when it comes down to a game-critical moment, you have the best weapon maybe in this generation to utilize. And I think KD loves basketball so much that he would probably agree with the fact that utilizing him at the right time in the right space to be that option for a team to seal it, that's what Kevin Durant loves. He loves the game more than anything.
Jay.
Yes.
Did you just refute? Is it just that hard for you to say, yo, Stephen A., I agree with you? That's what I said. I said, that's exactly what I said. I'm saying, yo, Jay, if you got Steph, if you've got Young, you got somebody, and KD is like, listen, I don't need to be utilized that way. I don't give a damn what the media said. Just work around them. I'll work around it. Give me the ball when it's time. Make sure I get the ball. That's what I just said.
Okay,
I'm just saying, as basketball fans, it's like, he's so great. He's so great. I'm saying you as a coach can't go to him and say, you deserve to be number 2 because this person deserves to be number 1. I'm saying because of his efficiency and his greatness, you can't do that. But he most certainly will be like this. Go ahead and give it to Ant-Man. Let the offense evolve around him. Go ahead and give it to Giannis. Go ahead and give it to Steph. I'll be all right.
What is this discussion really about? It's not about it's a tie game and who gets the ball. I mean, the guy can't be defended. He can't. You can't.
He can't.
But this is a question about, are you trading a gigantic package of assets for him, and are you giving him a 2-year, $130 million contract extension at age 37? Because that's what you're talking about for your number 1 option.
But yes, the only reason you would hesitate to do that is because of his age.
Well, that's part
not
of
his game. Not his game doesn't make you say you will do that. His age.
I agree with that, but if you're asking number 1 option, again, we're not talking about a tie game. We're talking about, this is Kevin Durant about to be traded, and you're deciding what you're going to trade for him and whether you're going to pay him. That's what you're debating here. Are you going to debate whether a guy who's, frankly, he's missed some games. Nobody doubts when he's on the court that he's going to get a basket like no one else in the history of the game. But I'm talking about number 1 option as in core player of your franchise.
Yeah, I say, maybe this is on me because maybe I'm mistaken number 1 option for the guy that's going to carry the load throughout the course of the entire season. Right? Like, as he's the option, the one that carries the bucket, not like as he's the closing option.
That's fair.
Or he's the guy that can drop 35, but it's in certain moments of the game. And all I was saying is at this stage of his career, you shouldn't want to put that wear and tear on the greatness of where KD is and how he can be optimized at the right time. That's what I meant to say.
That's fair because there's 2 different ways of looking at it. The way you just described, the way I was describing is I'm on this basketball team. I'm Kevin Durant, and you're telling me I have to be deferential to somebody else. That doesn't happen with a Kevin Durant. Okay. That's not something you can justify. But, again, carrying the load over the course of 82 games, knowing the games that he's missed, age, attrition has kicked in, that kind of stuff, that wear and tear that you might want to avoid putting on him. I understand that point. From that point, y'all are absolutely right. I'm just talking about his skill combined with his level of production. You have to look at him and understand there is no such thing as an option better than him.
I don't know if the league agrees with you. Because if the league agrees, so here's the thing. He's openly out there. Shams is reporting, and Shams is on the nose, okay? That it's Houston, San Antonio, and Miami. If any of those teams felt that he was a number 1, they'd have the deal done.
That's not necessarily true.
Because they have the assets to do it.
Okay, first of all, you're trying to tell me there's a debate as to whether or not Kevin Durant would be the number 1 option in Miami? There's nothing to think about. There's nothing to think about, Wendy.
I agree, but it's
in Houston.
Well, but
nothing.
Stop. Number 1 option.
But I think it goes to the fact about obviously if he was on the team, but it goes to be about whether you're going to pay to have him be the number 1 option. If those teams were offering a package that regarded him as the number 1 option, they have the assets to do it. They have
but that's not their issue. Their issue is, again, his age, the attrition, his lack of availability. Those things come into play as to why they're hesitant to give up an inordinate amount of assets to acquire him. Not his game when he's on the basketball court.
That goes part of this. And the team that's been most aggressive is Minnesota, who we all know the number 1 option will be Ant.
Right. Yeah. Because he's the future. He's the face of the franchise.
I agree.
But not because he's more efficient.